Just imagine a superhero who has a body built like Superman with red tights, boots, a small domino mask, swinging on a rope, with 2 stiff wings that stick out of his back. This is the original animation that Batman creator Bob Kane pitched to his co-creator Bill Finger. There were some obvious changes made before the comic's first release. Co-creator Bill Finger claims that the look of Batman was inspired by costumes from 1920s The Mark of Zorro and 1930s The Bat Whiskers. Through the ages, Batman has become a pop culture icon with many different interpretations and various different looks. The History series presents The History of Batman. Batman first suited up in May of 1939 when Detective Comics, more commonly known as DC, released their very first Batman issue, The Case of the Chemical Syndicate. He was a hit right at the get-go, receiving his own title comic, Batman, by 1940. The big hook? Batman is the only mainstream superhero with absolutely no powers. He relies on science, technology, physical fitness, and his cleverness of mind. If you're a hermit, Amish, or have been living under a rock for the past 73 years, I'll tell you who Batman is. Batman, originally referred to as the Batman, the Caped Crusader, the Dark Knight, and the world's greatest detective, is a comic superhero who has proved himself to be timeless. Comics, radio, cartoons, television, movies, he's done it all, not to mention all the merchandise sold worldwide. Like most superheroes, Batman has a secret identity, Bruce Wayne, who is an American millionaire, philanthropist, and businessman that resides in the fictional Gotham City, a city that could be comparable to today's New York City. As a child, the young Bruce Wayne was witness to his parents' death by a mugger, and as revealed in the issue, number 33, Bruce stands at his parents' grave as he declares, "By the spirits of my parents, I will avenge their deaths by spending the rest of my life warring on all criminals."
You just couldn't let me go, could you? This is what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. You truly are incorruptible, aren't you? Huh? You won't kill me out of some misplaced sense of self-righteousness. And I won't kill you because you're just too much fun. I think you and I are destined to do this forever.
As is presented to the Batman fans in the popular and successful Dark Knight movie arc, Batman lives by a moral code in which he refuses to have any death by his hands. However, in the early years of Batman, he killed multiple villains without any remorse. The writers believed that Batman needed a pal to be able to talk about his adventurous double life with. Therefore, in issue number 38, released in April of 1940, Robin was born as a sidekick for Batman. Originally, they were going to have Robin last for one comic and then kill him off the next. However, the sales of Robin's debut skyrocketed, meaning that Robin was there to stay. Because Bruce Wayne was to be a role model to Dick Grayson, Batman then picked up these moral justice values, and the tide of this vision of Batman angst changed. So if you look at the time period, it's currently World War II. And due to the bleak outlook of the war, they wanted a brighter future for the children to look up to in these troubling times. Batman hadn't really hit total stardom until 20th Century Fox picked up a television adaptation for the comic books. The show took a far more campy route than that of the earlier comics. The show then got canceled in 1968, and even though the comics continued, Batman's popularity hit rock bottom. In that time, the comics took multiple twists and turns, including the death of Bruce Wayne and transferring the title of Batman to Dick Grayson, followed by a revival of Bruce Wayne, along with other confusing twists. In 2005, the movie Batman Begins was released, starring Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne. In this adaptation, we introduced the pre-Robin Batman and his rise to becoming the hero he is today. This movie can probably be credited with the recent revival of Batman Mania. Following this was the 2008 sequel, The Dark Knight, and most recent, The Dark Knight Rises, in which we are introduced to the possible future Robin, John Blake. As for the comics, due to the 52 reboot in 2011, most of the various Batman comic lines were canceled, and a single new line was released that can still be purchased today. Batman is so popular because he has no powers and has to deal with weaknesses just like everyone else, making him the most relatable superhero to date. And it's safe to say that Batman is and will be around for quite a while.